Do you know using your freezer can be one of your best tools for saving money on groceries if you use it correctly? Today, I'm going to be sharing my 3 top tips on how to save money on groceries using your freezer, so you can cut waste and stretch your grocery budget. If you're just meeting me, my name is 𝐂𝐻𝐋𝐿, and this is 𝐂𝐻𝐋 Legacy, where I'm normally teaching you how to save money on groceries, but today I get to announce I am one of the featured speakers at the Hobby School Organized Living event, and this is a free event that you can get tickets for, and the link will be in the description. This is a free online event that's jammed-packed with home organization, meal planning, and great tips. So this is just a little short, brief part of the full presentation that I'm going to be doing on freezer organization in the summit. Make sure that you grab your free ticket before March 11th, and you will be able to watch the extended video also. My first tip is make sure that you take inventory of the items that you already have in your freezer and make a plan to rotate those out. So I use my grocery planner to keep a list of what I have and any meals that I want to use up, especially like freezer meals. So we make sure that we rotate things out seasonally. So here in late spring, I want to make sure that I'm using up any oven items so I can get ready for the barbecue items. If you didn't know that the average family throws away more than 40% of the food that they buy. And when you really start thinking about all the produce that you throw away or leftovers that never get eaten, you can see how that number gets added up. But it also applies to things in your freezer that we let get frostbitten. We're going to talk about some of those tips to avoid that. But if you want to know more about reducing your food waste, I am the author of the Zero Waste Produce Guide, and I had a TED Talk on the subject. Tip number 2 is to freeze in portion sizes that you will actually use. So if you are getting a really good deal, especially on meat, and get a 10 or 20 pound package of ground hamburger, make sure that you're dividing that up and putting it into freezer safe containers in your dinner size portions. Or things like pork chops or ribs, divide those up before they go into the freezer, and then you're not having to pull out and defrost more meat at a time than you want to use. The other thing is to be really mindful when you go grocery shopping about the packaging that it comes in. When you're buying things like this in the styrofoam packaging with the plastic wrap on it, this will only stay fresh in the freezer for about 3 months before it gets frostbitten. So either plan on using it right away or put this in a freezer safe bag or a glass container when you're putting it in the freezer, and then you can keep it fresh so much longer. So you don't have to be afraid to stock up when you see things on sale. Just make sure that you're putting them away in the freezer in the ways that you will actually use it later. Learning how to freeze produce the right way without needing to blanch it can also save a ton of money when you have things that are in your refrigerator that are starting to churn or go bad, and you can save them for later. Some of those items that I freeze are spinach, so it looks totally perfect in this bag still, and it's all crinkly and it doesn't stick together, which I love, so I can reach in and grab a handful of spinach at any time to add to a recipe. And then I flash freeze fruit on a tray, and if you leave it in the freezer for a few hours, then you can easily put them into a bag and they won't stick together. So these are some peaches that we still have left over from last summer. I have some oranges that are individually frozen here. I was going to make some orange sherbet with this. And then things like peppers. If you find peppers on sale, I will chop those up and mix them up in a bag, and then I can just put this into a recipe. So if you would like to find more produce type tips, make sure you're subscribing to this channel and check out the link for the summit in the description.